So you have a few special guests on the album. One of them is Paul McCoy from the band 12 Stones. So this is on the song World Apart. Man, I was a 12 Stones fan. I bought their debut album, and
Oh yeah.
we were talking about Wind Up Records a few days ago and how amazing their track record was. But for our listeners that maybe aren't familiar with 12 Stones or Paul McCoy, you guys know Paul McCoy's voice
Yes, you
because
do.
Evanescence, their debut album Fallen, the first single Bring Me to Life that everybody knows. Bring Me to Life, there's Amy Lee's amazing angelic voice, and then there's a guy that's kind of doing a Linkin Park type
Wake
rap
me
thing.
up.
Yeah. Wake me up. That guy is Paul McCoy. And that debut album, we're talking about the biggest debut albums of all time. That debut album from Evanescence sold 17 million copies. And Paul McCoy was the voice that launched that band and launched that single. Incredible. When I read the name, I'm like, that's not the 12 Stones, Paul McCoy. You're like, oh yeah, that's him. So
Yeah, it is.
you have a story there that it's not just like, oh, you reached out and got this guy. It's you have a relationship with this guy.
Oh yeah, dude. Paul is one of my best friends. He is an absolute sweetheart. I mean, 12 Stones is from Mandeville, Louisiana, like right down the road from my house. If instead of going down to New Orleans on I-10, you keep going west, you'll hit Mandeville. Their old drummer was a DJ at 97.9, DJ Fantastic. I got to go see those guys a bunch when I was a early teenager. When they released Potter's Field, they signed my SG Voodoo that I still have. And I got to meet Paul, and I was just always kind of around Paul. And then once I got to know, the guys at 97.9, and I started playing, CPR Fest and more CPR related shows, just by default, Paul and I just ended up together. And he's another one of those guys that we just connected and is like, I love you, you love me, we're friends. Okay, cool. And every time we were around each other, it was nothing but laughs and smiles and good hangs and good times. And I mean, dude, anybody that knows Paul will tell you the same thing. He's just such a sweetheart. He's a good guy. He's a good dude. He's a great music. He's one of the best out there. He really is. He deserves more success than he has. I would say I feel like he's a very underrated musician, a very underrated singer, because like the dude's a badass. He is, and once we got a relationship going, and this is a fun fact that not a lot of people know. I was auditioning for 12 Stones at one point, and
Wow.
then I was supposed to be a guitar player for him, but then they just never really got a band back together and never really started doing much after that. Like I remember going over to Paul's house with my old bass player, and we ran through songs, and we were talking about logistics and stuff like that, and then it didn't happen. But 12 Stones didn't really happen after that either. That kind of got he and I thinking about playing music together and writing together. And then I had this song World Apart. I had the verses recorded, we had the music, but I was like, dude, what am I going to do about this chorus? I don't know what to do. And so I called Paul and I was like, yo, dude, we've been talking about doing something together for a long time. Do you want to write a chorus for this song? And I sent it to him and he was like, yeah. And then 3 weeks
That's
later,
a good response, eh?
he went to, I want to say Skid Mills, and he sent me everything. And he was like, do you want me to change anything? And I heard it and I was like, nope, perfect. And as soon as I heard it, like it was everything that I was hoping that song would turn into, because it's kind of an angry song, and I was so mad when I was writing that, and I was so pissed that I couldn't think straight when I was trying to write the chorus, and I told him where my head was at, what it was about, and he just shot it out like nothing, man, like there like.
It
It
ain't
was
no
like it was
thing.
seamless. Yeah. Oh, dude. I mean, he's an absolute pro, man. I mean, he's like you said, he's part of one of the I would argue the biggest Evanescence song. Like the 12 Stone records were amazing. They charted, like they were all around the world. They were on MTV and all the things, and they were doing it. Like, so to get to work with him was honestly a dream come true, especially because we had such a good friendship leading up to that, and it was something that we both wanted to see happen. So getting Paul on a track was just amazing, and I'm really hopeful that at some point here in the near future we get to perform that live together. And I think it's coming. I think that one's coming.